hopes for the current generation of Latino women. I believe that a lot of the norms in our culture has been rattled. You know, they have been so many women that really use their voice to the greater good in supporting the communities that they're serving. I do believe that we still have a lot of work to do, but I am incredibly proud for the generation that we have now. They are outspoken. They ensure that they are, taking advantage of the tools and resources that are given to them so they could highlight any issues in the community and make effective change. I think that if we continue moving that route, and us as the first generation of Mexican Americans or Latinx Americans in this country continue to provide those tools for the youth, I really believe that we're going to continue to carve out space in the higher education field and also be able to make effective change, not only in those spaces that it was not built for us, but also in the policy space to ensure that laws and legislation is supporting us every step of the way. And I am incredibly proud to continue to be a public servant and to serve as a chief of staff for the Partnership of College Completion, because I know that I am supporting all of the students in the state of Illinois, especially the Black and brown population.
By far, the number one thing I always tell people is be your own best advocate. Being able to ask questions early on and learning the system. The system wasn't always made to support us. And so I think that the best thing you could do is ask questions. And if you don't know how to ask questions, ask someone who may be able to speak up for you, and then learn and being able to take that with you. Getting to know resources, even if it's in a virtual component, because you might not want to go somewhere or you might not be able to. So find a means to find everything virtually, so that way you can find what fits best for you, because everyone is different. So you'll get to learn your footing and being able to put your best foot forward.
My hope is that we continue this trajectory of making dedicated resources to Latino students. I think the Latino student experience in college really has to do with social belonging. When I was in college and seeing younger generations now, we're still struggling with the social belonging. Finding peers that we can connect with, finding communities so we can feel like we belong in those spaces in college. Even, it's been 10 years now, it's still the same. And there's been some progress, but my hope is that we continue to make that positive progress that we've been making.
It's also important if in higher education, we not only enroll and recruit students, but also enroll and retain and really help diverse faculty be supported in higher education spaces, right? So students need to see themselves represented in the faculty and the staff and the administrators, because representation really does matter. And sometimes that doesn't happen because folks, especially from Latinx communities, they may not feel supported or included or welcome for many, many different reasons. So I think that's another area of opportunity and something that can be changed in terms of the generation that's to come.
First off, and as I start to reflect on my own experience, I do that quite a bit, and a lot of that comes from my undergrad development, appreciation for reflection. What I learned back then and continue to learn and grow and working directly with students and practitioners and faculty is that we are not a monolith, right? Like a lot of us may look a certain way, folks may perceive us to be to have so much similarities, but there's a lot of unique things that set us apart. But I think no matter whether you're Mexican, Colombian, or ethnic heritage, or whether you're newly arrived immigrant or have been here over 5 generations, which is common in Texas, by the way, I think what does sort of unite a lot of folks that identify this way is the affinity for family and a commitment to really be a person for others. It starts in the home for the most part, and then also branches out to our external communities. I think the desire to want to serve and help and empower, I see that as a common thread. So with that in mind, I think what I would hope for the next generation of students is to not feel trapped by their economic situation in terms of making decisions about where they want to go to school and even what career path they really want to follow and pursue. I think that continues to be a barrier to allowing students, not just Hispanic, Latino, Latinx, but a lot of students really feel trapped by these barriers to doing what they really want to do. And so I look back in my own trajectory and I think, would it look really different if I had more autonomy, or maybe didn't have all the guilt and in me to want to choose things that were not going to add more financial burden or stress or strain on my parents, for the sacrifices that they made not going to college. And so, my hope is really that folks feel empowered to make a decision that really serves them, and whatever that means. And then the other thing is that they feel affirmed wherever it is that they choose to go, whether that's a community college or a four-year institution, whether it's public or private, elite or open access. Like, I would really want students to feel affirmed, seen, heard, valued. Excuse me, get emotional, but it's rare. And it's also not fair, I think, for folks to be seen and valued. So that's my hope.